Downtown Spokane's Riverfront Park, updated and beautiful, is one of the goals of a city parks bond that's on the ballot this year. And you're also asked to vote on a street levy as well. And joining us now live to talk about this is Spokane's Mayor David Condon, who's in San Francisco on some city business as well. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, I'm down here with the council president and our chief financial officer and a couple others to give a presentation to two of the rating agencies that rate Moody's and Standard & Poor's, who rate our credit because of the great financing we've done and the budgeting we've done. We've been invited down to give a presentation to see if we can increase our credit rating, which comes at a perfect time as we ask citizens to look at an investment in Riverfront Park and really the park system and then also the streets. And for last year, we've been working to look at the financing. How could we do these investments without increasing the tax rate? So we put that together, two different packages, two different votes on the ballot, and really a great opportunity to make major investments in our infrastructure and our park system without increasing the tax rate.
Mayor Condon, if you are successful with your mission today in San Francisco and the credit rating gets better, would that change the financials on either the bond or the levy in better favor for the city?
You know, you don't know until it happens, and it really has to do with the marketability, but foreseeably, yes. And definitely a whole second issue that we're doing, of course, is our Cleaner River Faster initiative, which is an unprecedented investment in getting our sewage out of the Spokane River, which we are going to do, and we're doing that obviously with on the utility side of our business without increasing rates over inflation, and that really would have the other impact. So this is a big trip for Ben and I and for our CFO. We do have a very good credit rating at AA, but we'd like to see us at AA positive or AA with a positive outlook. And really it has to do with the last couple of years working with the City Council and passing budgets that are making major investments in public safety, really seeing the uptick in our economy we had $538 million of permitted construction over the last year. So the uptick in the city is doing very well, and we think it was time to come back down and talk to our credit raters. And so as people invest in these bonds, they know that they are a sound investment and that the citizens of Spokane and the city really is on strong financial grounding. Also report to them that I renegotiated future pensions that really closes the gap on our financial exposure on our pension liability for our employees going forward, which, you don't hear much that going on across the country, but sitting down with the unions, I renegotiated those, and those were ratified and are part of next year's budget of making sure that we can close that gap of our pension liability.
Mayor, one last question. We have not been able to find anybody who will come on the air with us and speak against the park bond or the street levy. We also have not seen any advertising from the city saying, hey, we really need to have you vote for this. Do those two go hand in hand, the fact that there's no visual opposition, so no need to advertise to get people to pass these?
Well, you wouldn't see the advertising from the city. We aren't allowed to campaign. We do education and talk about what we're proposing. The campaign, the Streets and Parks, Citizen for Streets and Parks, is the pro-campaign. They've had the billboards up. They've had a lot of mailers going out to folks. I do worry that, people, in this kind of this political climate, I hope people do vote, and I hope I would encourage them to vote, but also to get educated on it. And again, for the Streets and Parks, we're very proud of what we've been able to put together and really keep the tax rate the same, but we'll have about $25 million going into our streets on an annual basis, really continuing the positive build-out of the street bond, but not increasing the tax rate. Same thing on the parks. We have a rare opportunity to make this investment without increasing our tax rate this time. We won't have this ability again. And so to have that major investment in Riverfront Park, which would really allow the park system to focus also on the neighborhood parks and spend resources there that they wouldn't have to spend, because the infrastructure down at Riverfront Park is crumbling, to say the least. And we really would like to have more events down there, but our hands are tied with the infrastructure down there. So there is a deliberate campaign. I'm part of that also, and working with the leadership of that campaign. But no opposition. I haven't, talked to anyone. They really are supportive of not increasing taxes, but also having this investment in our community. I think a lot of the voters realize that you need to continue to build, and I hear it from the private sector that if they see this major investment in our streets and our infrastructure, both water, sewer, and we really have stabilized we were in double-digit increases in utility rates in other areas, and we won't see that for the foreseeable future if we continue down this path. But still keeping the investment the same for our citizens, but really getting a lot more out of it.
Spokane's Mayor David Condon, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.